Afternoon guys, Mark Lennox here for broking. It's Monday the 6th of December. We're just going to run through the major currency pairs for today. We've had a fair bit of good movement on Friday night on the back of the payrolls number, but just a reminder, anything we talk about is only general advice. We're not aware of your personal financial situation. Risk warning, FX is a highly leveraged derivative product, so it can work for you and against you equally. Hopefully it'll work for you, but look, you can suffer quite extensive losses trading these sort of products, so you've just got to be aware of that, and make sure that you read the PDS and FSG that Alpha provides you when you set up your account. Moving on to the charts, just going to have a quick look at the euro and just start off with. Let me just pull that down so you guys can all see that. There you go. So obviously we've broken out of this trending channel, upwards trending channel to the downside, and we're just coming back up to retest it. As suggested on Friday evening, we thought a little bit of support would come in for the major currency pairs against the US dollar, and that's eventuated. We're moving up towards this 618 level, which is at 134.75. We're thinking that's the most likely area of resistance on the euro. However, we have come into contact with this trend line now, so we could see a reversal off this level, or we could see a continuation back through it, back up to the main level there, which is probably around that 136.33. Our first target for this evening will be 134.75. We just had a bit of a retracement against the trend in the Asian session, which is pretty common today. We're sitting about 133.51, just bounced off 133.40 support. So look, if we can stay above the 132.03 level, we'd be thinking continuation up to 134.75. But we really want to see it isolate here and then start to push up into the European Open and into the US Open. This is a 5-minute chart of the euro. You can obviously see the extension there to the 1618. It's then pushed off, and now we're just consolidating the move. You can see 133 is going to provide us initial support when we get back down there, and then we want to see it fire off from there back up towards 135.51. As mentioned, our target is around that 134.75, maybe even 134.65, as you can see, because that's the swing low there. Coming across to the pound, stored along support, and obviously we pushed off that now. We just had a bit of a weak open this morning, so we could push down this move a little bit further, maybe back towards that 157 mark and then push off again. If you get move it through 157.71 this evening, you're looking at 158.30 as your first target. Let's have a look at the 5-minute. Again, coming up out of the range in the 1618 and just tapering off for the Asian session being Monday morning. So obviously the Europeans and the US are still on their Sunday nights, so not watching the market at all, most of them. So look, if we get a push down to that 157 mark, we'd be looking for it to stall and then continue long up towards 157.89, and then potentially onto 158.61 on the 5-minute. The daily, really, you're looking at resistance around that 158.33. That would be your first target. US yen, obviously reversed off support around that 81 level, pushed up. This range hit the 1618, the 84.40, stored along that for 4 days in a row last week, and then failed on the Friday pretty aggressively. This chart is still in a massive downtrend on the daily, so look, if we get back above the 83 mark, we'd probably be happy sellers down to this 1618 extension of the new range, being 81.77, first target 82. So bearish on the US yen, that also works in tandem with the euro long, the pound long, and the Aussie long, which we'll just have a look at now. So we're coming back up to that 1618 for the previous range. We've hit that as resistance and we're just stalling. This is a breakout. A lot of people will say that this is going to stall and roll over again. I'm more on the bullish side. You know, the yield that's available in this currency at the moment is unprecedented in comparison to what's out there. There's a lot of money that's got to be parked up somewhere, and look, if you've got a country like Australia, or an economy, more to the point, like Australia, sitting there at the moment, you know, where would you rather have it, in the Eurozone or in the Aussie dollar? You tell me. Let's have a look at the 5-minute. We hit that 98.20. That was our target from Friday evening. Blasted through that again. So look, it's just been the moves in the Aussie have just been a lot more aggressive than what we've expected, and that's a function, I think, of the, you know, how well our economy's performing compared to the other ones. So look, if this move does extend, we'd be looking for 98.50 first target, 99.93 second target, which is basically parity. Just going to include the SPY this evening. Obviously it's broken out to the long side, still sitting along that 618. 47.20 is a pretty crucial level on the SPY, but that is a big gap up, as you can see there. So we're pretty bullish on that. That's going to be bullish for the Aussie as well, that they work in tandem. So yeah, looking for, I guess, a continuation of Friday evening this evening. You might get a bit of a retracement, but this week's probably looking like continuation on the long side for those currencies and just more debasement of the US dollar, basically. And I want to include silver as well this evening. We've been big bulls of silver going back at least the last 3 or 4 months. Ever since we got a break out of this ascending triangle, it's just been on for young and old. We've hit all sorts of resistance levels. We've just actually punched through the 1618 for the much larger range. So our next target up from here is 35. We've been streaking that for quite a while now. But I think we're going to move pretty aggressively to that level. There's not a lot standing in its way right now. So very happy to be buyers of silver up to 35.